Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Likewise, in the Arabic language, like in any other language, different words have different meanings. Not everything is synonymous. Therefore, this is how Allah describes Himself to us. He gives us names and He gives us attributes. That's number one. Number two, through these names and attributes, we can learn who Allah is and who Allah isn't. Because if we were to say that all of the names and attributes of Allah mean the same, then how do you then differentiate between His mercy and the mercy of the creation? Therefore, Allah explains to us that His mercy is unlike the created mercy. Through His names and attributes, we learn His qualities as being divine. And we also learn what doesn't befit Him and doesn't befit our belief in a God, such as plurality and duality and partnerships and oppression and all these other things. So through the names and attributes, we learn and we affirm and we negate. And the other thing, and this again, some of it is aqeedah and some of it is, linguistically based, and some of it is overlapped. So, the fact that the Arabic language, just like any other language, has different words which have different meanings. If a person was to say Al-Latif means the same as Rahman, and Rahman means the same as Al-Wadud, and Al-Wadud means the same as Al-Malik, what's the point of Allah saying these things then to us? Why does Allah call Himself Rahman Rahim, and then say Malik Yawmiddin, and then say all these other things in the rest of the Quran, when they all mean the same thing? When we say all of these names mean the same thing, it could then entail, I'm not saying that this is the belief of that person, but then it necessitates an idea that Allah has said these things and they don't carry any benefit. And that, again, we learn from His names and attributes is not befitting Him, because everything He does is through justice and wisdom and knowledge and ability. Therefore, if a person was to say that there are no differences, then what you are attributing to Allah in an indirect manner is idleness, and Allah doesn't have any idleness. I think the issue here, though, is that some of the names and attributes that overlap. So Rahman, Rahim, Al-Barr, Al-Latif, Al-Khabir, Al-Alim, all of these names, the last three that I just mentioned, are in a cluster together. And Rahman and Rahim, Al-Mannan, Al-Barr, all of these names are in a cluster together also, because they entail a similar kind of name and an attribute, but they are different slightly in its definition and its practicality with one another. Like Allah is Al-Qawi, but He is also Al-Jabbar, and He's also Al-Mateen, He's also Al-Aziz. And all four of these, you can refer back to Sa'di's explanation for further clarification. All four of these talk about Allah's power and might, and strength, however they differ from one another. So one talks about a strength which negates inability. Another one talks about a strength which negates tiredness, and so forth. And I think that's where the confusion lies, where she has perhaps read or been explained that Al-Latif is similar to another name or another attribute, and she thinks, well, they're all the same then, but they're not. Perhaps there's a problem in the understanding or the explanation, or not knowing that there is a principle, which is that some of the names that overlap. However, there is an intricate sometimes difference. Sometimes the difference is obvious, but sometimes there's an intricate difference between one and the other. Like we just mentioned, Jabbar is different to Aziz, but both of them talk about might and power and strength. And Allah knows best.